Some tough news in the right-wing grifter community. A lot of people upset about this. James O'Keefe, known doctorer of video, and I don't want to just call him a propagandist because he's also a lying propagandist. I don't necessarily think that there is a propaganda is not necessarily. I think it's a value-neutral term in many respects, but he lies. He lies by omission, by editing. He's at times broken the law. And apparently, James O'Keefe has been pushed out, or he is on paid administrative leave by the board of Project Veritas. There was a letter dated February 6th, circulated by Project Veritas staff who were critical of O'Keefe's management. He berated and fired the organization's CFO, Tom Hara, and its chief strategy officer, Barry Hinckley. Hinckley later wrote a message to the staff saying he had stood up to a bully and lost his job as a result. The letter included an 11-page list of testimonials from anonymous and current employees describing O'Keefe, in the words of one, as a power-drunk tyrant.
What?
Yeah.
You hate to see. Never meet your heroes.
Yep. And apparently there's been lawsuits from former employees, leaks about internal investigation workings, and a federal investigation into its conduct purchasing a diary stolen from Ashley Biden, the president's daughter. There was one quote in a piece by the New York Magazine from Matthew Tierman, conservative journalist who serves on Project Veritas's board. Said he was about to walk into a meeting and could not talk when reached on his cell phone Wednesday. That was last week. When asked specifically if O'Keefe was being ousted, he replied, "I just said I was walking into a meeting and this was not the appropriate time. What don't you understand about that?" Remember, this is the project named after the word truth. And apparently they're skirting the media. But here is more from that memo that was released. I was yelled at in front of jurors because he was hungry, says an employee. And then he took the 8-month pregnant woman's sandwich because he was hungry.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a September 2022 trial against Democratic consulting firm that O'Keefe ultimately lost. In the memo, and this is apparently a big problem, the employees also brought up the use of Project Veritas money to boost O'Keefe's own theatrical interests. Now, we've seen James O'Keefe in his presentation of these journalistic videos, and you'll recall that he dresses like he's James Bond in different times, and he talks as if he's doing like a, one of those, what was that show, Submitted for Your Approval, The Twilight Zone. He sometimes will do that, and he likes to dress
like
up.
A pimp that one.
Dress up like a pimp, yep. And it turns out that in December, that's just a couple months ago, Project Veritas said it provided a prohibited $20,500 in excess benefits to O'Keefe last year to pay for staff to accompany him to Virginia when he starred in a 2021 production of, yes, Oklahoma.
Make it
having to eat your dinner to that. There's people out there. It's obviously like one of those like chicken dinners. Isn't there footage of him dancing too? Do we have footage of him dancing? Let's see the dancing footage because he's actually a pretty good dancer.
Well,
Right? Yeah, did he? Let's see the dancing footage. We got it. Let's bring this up. All the theater stuff and how that is handled makes me very uneasy. The memo states, adding, "In the end, we're in a deficit now. Our fans and potential fans beyond do not respond positively to all that stuff."
So that's a no on the Annie Get Your Gun for 2024.
Yeah, and here's the thing: the memo also raised concerns that the money dedicated to musicals risked alienating donors. Yeah,
They don't appreciate
What?
art
No.
anymore. He's getting canceled.
I mean, honestly,
The
it's
artist has a vision. Let him cook.
Apparently, in Rolling Stone's Laura Jadid attended in February of last year O'Keefe's American Muckrake book launch, undoubtedly paid before by Project Veritas, although I'm not sure. A launch party that included a 50-minute musical theater production dedicated to telling O'Keefe's story in song, dance, and strobe light.
so it's like it's a one-man show, right?
Yeah, I guess,
right.
Is this?
We need
is this,
that
Is this part of
footage.
this? This is part of his dancing. I think his dancing's actually pretty good here. Let's see.
Not a shuffle dance fan, I gotta say.
I mean, Sam, what are you talking about?
I gotta say, like, for shuffle dance, that's like what shuffle dance is. I just don't think it's that impressive.
It's
I
certainly
may not be
not
that-
that impressive.
It's not that, but I mean, he gets it down. I mean, it isn't.
He didn't break a hip. That's
Looks
true.
like exercise.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
I
like
guess-
I've done that in my Zumba class, like before.
Now, before people start like getting into the comments, and before I get accused of throwing stones from a glass house, I just want to thank everyone here at the Majority Report for attending my production of the Pirates Penzance, and also for coming that time where I played the reindeer in the production of the Albany Regional High School's Nutcracker. I was the oldest person playing a reindeer in the history of that production, so I thought that was pretty impressive.
Were those optional?
Yeah, you didn't really comp us for our travel, just to put that out there.
I thought that was compulsory.
I'm glad you guys enjoyed the free drink that I purchased to all of you with Majority Report member money at the Poetry Slam that I performed in the other night.
That was a voucher at the dinner theater.
That's right.
Yeah.
And also, you guys coming out to watch me play softball, very meaningful to me.
Right, yeah.
We do appreciate that. And of course,
I don't know if you needed the four softball bats that were like top of the line.
Right.
I wanted
That
to,
you also didn't comp us for.
there was a lot of pressure, for me to deliver. And of course, I thought it was a great outing we all had when we went to Lafrac skating in Prospect Park. And I debuted my backwards skating for the first time.
Wow, you could play defenseman.
Yeah.
It's a little weird that you made us sign a contract about how often we had to cheer and stuff, though.
Well, that's part of the greater NDA that I made you sign. You cannot disclose any of that information.
Sorry,
And
Does Tim Pool have a board? Like, were they like, oh, we love the music video you're producing, Tim? Or I guess that's the problem with James O'Keefe. Is he like?
well, James
positions
O'Keefe,
himself
it's a
as an
not-for-profit. That's the thing.
Yikes.
Is that I mean, I would be curious. I believe it's a not-for-profit, right? I think you double check that, but I believe you tax deductible. Yeah, and I can't help but think that maybe that's a problem if you're a not-for-profit and you're spending it on bringing your employees out to a production of Oklahoma. I'm not quite clear how that's consistent with the mission, but I don't know. Is it a not-for-profit?
How sad is that? How sad is that he needed support, so he's making his subordinates come to his little musical?
When you do an open mic, as you guys know, I got to bring in a certain amount of audience members into in there, and you got to buy drinks.
So at least per ProPublica, it's a 501c3 tax code designation. That's their nonprofit tax code designation. It's been tax exempt since March 2011.
No. Maybe in the service, and I would imagine their mission is to do reporting, of course, and maybe somebody wrote up a story, like tried to break a story about Oklahoma. I don't know. But there you go.
So he's just a theater kid that's constructed an entire disinformation organization around his own ego.
You just described like 85%.
Like Crowder.
Crowder,
But to be fair, it's also all of them never achieved their dream. They never,
Shapiro, what classical singer, violinist thing?
Well, no,
Crowder,
he wanted to be a
comic,
scriptwriter.
Yeah,
that too.
He wanted to be a Hollywood
Candace Owens
scriptwriter.
had a model page.
Yeah. Right.